Hello Divination and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to emphasize your sticky button in a gorgeous call to action section in Divi. This is the final result we're aiming to achieve, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to create a brand new page. So I'm going to come over here to pages, click on add new. So here you want to name your page, click on use Divi builder. So for this example, we're going to build everything from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and click on build from scratch. Now, before we go into adding our rows, let's start by adding our background. So I'm going to come over here to my section settings, click on background, and I'm going to add my background color here by clicking the plus button, and I'm going to paste it like that. Next, we need to apply the maximum height on this section. So I'm going to come over here to design, sizing, and I'm going to come over here to maximum height. By default, it's set to none, but I'm going to set it to 100 VH. Next, I'm going to add my overflows. So I'm going to click here on advanced visibility. Now on the overflows, by default, they're all set to default and we need to change this to hidden. So I'm going to click here on the drop down, set this to hidden, do the same here. So both my horizontal and vertical are now set to hidden. Now it's time to add our row. So let's save this, click here on this plus button, and I am going to choose these two equal columns. Right, so now with that selected, I'm going to go now into my row settings and I'm going to come over here to design, sizing, and the first thing we need to do is to make sure we set our width here to 100%. And for the maximum width, by default, you can see there it's set to 1080. So what we need to do here is to set this to none. And now it's time to go into our column settings. So I'm going to come back over here to content and let's start here with the first column. So let's click here on this gear icon. And what we need to do here is to set our padding. So to do that, we're going to come over here to design and then go into spacing. So here we're going to add bottom padding and set this to 60 pixels. Okay. And then for the right padding, we're going to set this to 10 VW. Now, while we're here, we also need to go in and set our tablet and phone sizes. So I'm going to click here on this little icon. So for the tablets, we are going to set our left padding to 5% and the right padding to 5% as well. So let's just make sure everything is set correctly. Okay, so left and right, 5%. Now back over here, it's 60 pixels for bottom padding. Great. And then for the right padding for the desktop, it is 10 VW. All right, so I'm happy with that. So you just want to make sure that those settings are correct. All right, so with that set now, the next step now is to go in and add our modules. So I'm going to save this, click here on our text module here, and I'm going to search for my text module. Okay, great. So now that we have our text module, we need to add some text to that. So I'm just going to type a bunch of text in here. Okay, so this is the text I've added here onto my text module. So the next step now is to go into our text settings and apply a design to this. I'm going to click here on design, text. And first of all, we need to choose our font here. So I'm going to go in and choose a font called Work Sans. And here it is. I'm going to select that. Next, I'm going to set my font weight here to bold, my text color to black, and my text size is going to be 10 VW. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit and add 10 VW. Now my text line height also needs some adjusting. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are going to use 0.2 EM. So pretty much that's all we need to do here. Let's go ahead and save. Next, over here now on the right, we're also going to add a text module. So let's click here on this plus button and search for our text module and select it. All right, so now with that selected, let's just add our text here and it's going to be called Become a Part of the Family. Now let's stylize this text by coming over here to Design, Text, and we are going to choose Work Sans like how we did before, and our text color this time is going to be white and our text size is going to be 56. And then finally, our text line height is going to be 1.2. Now let's head over to sizing. So I'm going to come over here and for our sizing, we're going to set our maximum width to 400 pixels and pretty much we're done here. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Next, we're going to add another module. This time, this is going to be a button. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now we're going to adjust our text here and say join today, and make sure you add your button URL here. And this should link to whatever page you want to link to, because if you don't, by default, you will not be able to link this anywhere. All right, so now let's stylize the button by coming over here to design, button, and activating use custom styles for button. So first of all, we need to change our button text size. We're going to set this to 16. Our button text color needs to be black. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And now our button background color is going to be white. So I'm going to go ahead and select white. Right, so moving on. So for our button border width, we're going to set this to 5 pixels. But for our color, we are going to add full transparency to that. Now moving on, we need to also set our button font. And this is also going to be Work Sans. And for the icon, we are not going to show an icon here. So I'm just going to say no to that. And then we're going to save. So what we're going to do next is to apply our scroll and sticky effects. So first things first, we're going to apply a vertical motion to text module in column 1. So let's go ahead and do that. Click here on this gear icon. And then we are going to come over here to advanced scroll effects. So we're going to start here with a vertical scroll. So to activate it, you have to say yes. And over here, we're going to start with 10 and end with -10. Now for the motion effect trigger, we're going to set this to top of element and then save. All right, so what we're going to do next is to add the sticky effect to column 2. So let's go ahead and click here on our row settings, go to the settings of column 2, and then we're going to come over here to advanced scroll effects. So here we need to set this to stick to the top, and here the offset is going to be 80 pixels, and then the bottom sticky limit, we're going to set this to the section. All right, so pretty much we're done here. Let's go ahead and save. Next, we're going to add our sticky effect to our button. So I'm going to come over here, click on this gear icon. And what we can do here is we can play around with our colors. So I'm going to come over here to design, and let's head over to our button. Right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to choose the sticky option, which is this little icon right here. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. So first things first, we need to set our text color. So right now, make sure you're in the right tab. So our text color is going to be white. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And for our background color, it is going to be black. So let's go back over here. So for our text color, we said white. Okay, great. And then for our background color, this needs to be black. So you want to make sure that you have these the right way. So now that we have all this set, we can go ahead now and save. And now we can exit the Visual Builder and do some previews. Okay, so let's publish the page. All right, so all I've done now is I've added 2 sections, one on the top and one on the bottom, so that we can see this effect working properly. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and then we're going to exit the Visual Builder and take a look at our final design. So I'm going to go ahead now and hit save, exit Visual Builder. Now let's test and see if this is going to work. So as you scroll, you notice that our text is scrolling, and then when it hits a certain point, our button here changes and our call to action there is in place. And then when we start scrolling down, it's always in place, and the button color changes as well. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.